It was like you could feel the shadow coming over you.
The air was so clear that we could just see these streaks moving huge distances across the sky.
You feel it in a way that feels so different. The images don't do it justice.
And then you're just sort of locked in.
When you experience an eclipse, you feel that connection with space.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, look at the ray structure!
The universe is out there and it's affecting us. We are in space.
And here it comes, there's the diamond ring. And that is the most spectacular sight.
You haven't seen it. You haven't seen anything.
Hello, and welcome to live coverage of the celestial event of the year, the total solar eclipse. Over the next 3 hours, we will follow the moon's shadow as it races across North America. We are anchoring our coverage from the heart of downtown Cleveland, Ohio, just down the road from NASA's Glenn Research Center, the only NASA center in today's path of totality. I'm NASA's Megan Cruz, and this is NASA lunar scientist Sarah Noble. Hello. Today, NASA and the Great Lakes Science Center is hosting this free outdoor event for the community to experience the total solar eclipse together. You saw that beautiful aerial shot that we just had opening the show. We're seeing it again here. As you can see, we have a great, fun crowd here.
Yeah, we've been watching the crowd build all morning, and you can really feel the excitement starting to come now.
Yeah, absolutely. The watch item, of course, is the weather. Beautiful right now here in Cleveland.
It's perfect right now.
It's perfect, yes.
We woke up to rain and it cleared, but I don't know what we're going to get this afternoon.
Yeah, Sarah, you said that with a little bit of trepidation, and that's because it looks like there might be some cloud cover around the time of the total solar eclipse here, totality, but we'll see. All right, so on your screen now is the first look at the eclipse from Mazatlan, Mexico, one of the first communities the moon's shadow will darken today. Right now, you see we're seeing a partial eclipse of the sun right now, but if you look at the upper left-hand corner of your screen, we're expecting totality there in about an hour and 4 minutes. And we want to thank our team of telescope operators spread out across North America. Because of them, we will always have a view of the sun during this entire broadcast, which is
right,
awesome.
All the way from Mazatlan up to Maine.
Yeah, a very large swath, and we have it covered the whole way through. Now, if you scan your QR code that you see on the screen here, it'll take you to a live stream dedicated to just those telescope views, and it'll also take you to a Spanish broadcast of today's eclipse, and that starts at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And Sarah, as you know this, all of the telescopes used for this broadcast have special filters on them, and those protect the operator's equipment and also the operators themselves, because if you view the eclipse without the proper protection, then it can severely damage your eyes.
Yeah, that's right. We want everyone to enjoy the eclipse today, but we want them to do it safely.
Right. So how do you do that safely? Well, you should be shielding your eyes with eclipse glasses like these. Hopefully you bought them from a reputable source and that they have a special rating on them, and this rating means that the lenses meet international standards to protect your eyes from the sun's bright light. But Sarah, you can remove the glasses during totality.
That's right. If you're lucky to be in the path of totality, you can, for those, that short amount of time that you're in 100% totality. 99% totality doesn't cut it.
Right, exactly. 100%, nothing less. Now, if you don't have eclipse glasses, you can enjoy it indirectly with tools like pinhole projectors. And if you want to make one with us live in about 30 minutes, just grab a sturdy piece of paper or cardboard and a thumbtack or other sharp pin. I'm going to use my NASA pin for when we make it. All right, so Sarah, what are we expecting today? What is a total solar eclipse?
So total solar eclipse happens when the Earth, the moon, and the sun are so perfectly aligned that the moon completely blacks out our view of the sun.
And does that happen often?
Actually, somewhere in the world, there's an eclipse about every 18 months or so, but in any particular place, it's a pretty rare event.
Yeah, specifically here in Cleveland, the last time Cleveland had a total solar eclipse, get this, 1806.
Wow, that's remarkable.
So quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime opportunity. All right, but not everyone is going to be able to see the moon completely eclipsing the sun.
That's right. Only those of us in this narrow path of totality. But just about everyone in the U.S. will get to see a partial eclipse today, weather permitting.
Weather permitting, yes. I hope that Cleveland here and everyone else along the path of totality will be good and clear. Okay, so let's take a look at today's path of totality. It passes through parts of Mexico, 15 U.S. states, and southeastern Canada. There's an estimated 32 million people who live along the path, and not to mention the tens and thousands of people who travel to somewhere along it as well. Like us, you know, you're from D.C. and I'm from Florida.
I feel very lucky to be able to get to travel to see this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to have live reports from our correspondents spread out across the path. All excited to share this event with you. Some recognizable locations in between: the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, home of the famous Indy 500, and then also Niagara Falls, where officials expect up to 1 million visitors. Look at our team there waving at you. Happy to see you guys, and we'll hear from you soon. Okay, so again, we will hear from those correspondents, but also on our broadcast, a live interview with astronauts on board the International Space Station. Sarah's already ready.
So excited.
She's ready, because that's going to be obviously a unique place to witness today's celestial event, so we'll talk to them about that. We're also going to explain some of the science NASA will conduct during the eclipse and why that's important to you. And if you have questions about today's cosmic alignment, use the hashtag eclipse to send those in wherever you're watching us. We already have some questions from some kids.
Excellent.
And a celebrity. I can't wait to surprise you with who that is. All right, in addition to NASA's eclipse event here, there are plenty more in communities across the country, so why don't we take a look at some of them now? All right, so this is the California Academy of Sciences. That's a beautiful place to witness.
Wow, looks like they have great weather today. They're only going to get a partial eclipse there, but, you know, still, that is more than enough reason to get outside and enjoy some time with your friends and family.
Waco, Texas, people have their seats. They're ready to go. They're all comfortable. I see some coolers there.
Oh.
And this is the Adirondack Sky Center. They have a big field for people to be, you know, a couple of days ago, we saw the same field. It was covered in snow.
So I'm glad they have a nice place to sit.
Exactly. And Kennedy Space Center, the famous rocket garden that we have at the visitors complex there, that's also a cool place to watch a partial
eclipse. Yep.
Yeah. And then lastly, the Mentor Civic Amphitheater, a nice big field again to take a look out into and enjoy today's event. I'm sure that'll fill up soon.
Yes, I'm sure. Still gathering there.
All right, very much a party atmosphere we've seen in some of those watch parties, and especially here, again, the music, the exhibits, all the things happening here kind of reminds me of a sporting event, you know? So because of that, I'm going to ask you, who's the GOAT today, right? Is it the moon, is it the sun, or is it the earth?
I mean, I'm a lunar scientist, so maybe a little biased, but you got to go with the moon on this one, right? It's the moon that is like coming in for the block today. It's all the action to the moon.
I love that sports reference, but I'm going to have to say Earth. Because, well, first of all, we love our home planet, right? But because we're here, the moon has something to project its shadow on, and that's why we have the celestial alignment and show we're about to see today. That's where I'm going. That's how I'm going, yeah? All right, and now we want to know which team you're on. You can cast your vote by going to @NASA Solar System on Facebook, X, or Instagram, and we'll reveal the winning team at the end of the broadcast. Earth. The moon shadow will only be over land for about 1 hour and 28 minutes today, moving at an average speed of about 1,900 miles an hour. Keeping track of it for us is NASA's James Straley.
Yeah, thanks so much, Megan. I'm going to have to go with option number 3 there, the sun, because it gives us the energy for us to thrive here on Earth. And speaking of energy, it is bustling here at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. I'm coming to you from our new Gateway exhibit, where we today only have a partial eclipse, but still super excited to be tracking all of today's events live with our Eclipse Explorer. This right here is a fantastic tool that was developed by our friends at NASA Goddard Science Visualization Studio. They put this tool together for us to track the eclipse down to the exact second. If you wanted to get an access to this yourself, get a feel for how this is going to look in your neck of the woods, you can go to go.nasa.gov/Eclipse Explorer, and you can track where your city is going to be, your zip code, by punching it into this little box here. It's going to snap right to your location and give you some key stats. You just saw Cleveland there, so I can bring them up here. Cleveland is expecting peak totality here to start at 3:13:45 to be precise, local time. They've got a time at totality of 3 minutes, 49 seconds, plenty of time to really sit back and bask in their moment in the fully eclipsed sun. I'm going to be tracking all of this all throughout the afternoon for you to make sure that you do not miss a second of this coverage. Even if you're outside of that path of totality like we are right here, more than 99% of the U.S. is going to be able to see at least a partial eclipse. Some places are already experiencing, you just saw that footage from Mazatlan a little while ago. They are already experiencing a partial eclipse. And as always, if you are in partial, be sure to wear proper eye protection to protect your vision so you can safely enjoy today's fantastic celestial event. Plenty of awesome stuff coming up. We're going to keep a keen eye on that weather. Cleveland's looking nice and beautiful, very clear skies. Megan, back.